continuing with factoring today. And actually, pretty much the rest of the chapter is factoring. It just gets harder. What we started the chapter with was the easy portion. Adding, subtracting, multiplying. We didn't even do dividing. Today we're going to be factoring trinomials. And in order to successfully do this, and I probably spelled that wrong, but whatever. In order to successfully factor a trinomial, we need to be thinking of, well, of course, factors and their sums. And really, to get how to factor something, let's start with a multiplication problem. Let's say I have x plus 6 times x minus 7. And if I want to multiply that, what would I do, Meredith?
You would distribute that.
Okay. Like this. And what do I get?
X squared. Minus 7x.
And then what would I do, Meredith?
Then you would distribute the 6.
Yes. And I know that I'm actually multiplying because, well, there's not a symbol right here, right? Or there would be a dot right there. And then I combine my like terms and I get this. And am I dumb? That should be a 42 there. Minus 42. Any questions how I got that? Going once, going twice. When we factor, we'll start right here and we want to go back to there. Okay? Each of these are considered factors of this trinomial. And there is a way that we can figure out what this is starting with this. The first thing I do is I think of factors of 42. And the two that come to mind are 6 and 7, but there are others, 1 and 42, 2 and 21. Okay, so there are a few of them. So it's kind of not very helpful to start with the answer here and try it. Let's start with one that we don't have the answer for. So let's say I have x squared plus 5x plus 6.
Why would you want it back in that?
To solve things that we aren't ready for yet. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there.
I don't want to.
Yeah, you don't want to. But, alright, let's try this one. To start on this one, I'm always going to basically start by thinking of the factors of that last term, that constant term. And I have 1 and 6, and what else? Yeah. And now I think of, well, which one of these could I combine somehow to give me a 5? I could do 6 minus 1, and I could do 2 plus 3, right? Alright, so here's how we're going to put this. First we do this, and we're going to say, alright, well, in order, when I multiply, notice when I multiply, it's the first thing times the first thing, right? X times x gave me my x squared. Do you see what I'm looking at right here? Alright, so in order to get this x squared, I'm going to do x times x. See, x times x would give me this x squared. You with me? Alright, now the question is, well, what goes where those question marks are? Okay, now you don't have to, this really, factoring is trial and error. You're going to take a guess, an educated guess. Here are our guesses, right? You try it, see if it works. If it doesn't, that's okay, that's normal. Try something else, alright? Now we're going to get a few hints from this. This is a positive right here, right? And when I multiply, look what happened up here. When I multiplied 6 and negative 7, what did I get?
42.
Negative 42, right? So because this is positive, I know either these are both minuses or they're both pluses. Does that make sense? So I'm going to guess both pluses. And the reason I'm going to guess both pluses is because this 5 right here is positive. Alright, so now I know that I'm going to have to add. So if I did, and I'm actually going to guess wrong, so don't write down what I'm writing here. I'm going to guess wrong. I'm going to guess 1 and 6. Okay? There's a way to check this. I quickly multiply. X times x gives me x squared. Okay, so x squared, that's okay. And then 1 times 6, that gives me 6. So the 6 is okay. So I always want to check those first. Okay, I got those. Those are good. Now I want to check the middle. The middle's what gets us. 1 times x is x. And what's x times 6? 6x. If I combine those, what do I get?
7x.
No, if I do 1x plus 6x, what's 1x plus 6x?
7x.
7x. Do I add those exponents? No. Alright, what do I actually have? A 5. So I know that 1 and 6 do not work. So, I cross that possibility off. Must be this possibility. 2 and 3. So let's check it. X times x, that gives me x squared, I'm good. 2 times 3 gives me 6, I'm good. It's the middle that gets me. What's 2 times x? 2x. And what's x times 3? And if I add those, what do I get? This is my answer. Okay? I got it. Go ahead and write down that answer. Alright? We'll do a couple more together. And then basically you're going to do a bunch on your own on your whiteboard because you have to practice this. You do need to master this. It is something that even seniors in pre-calculus have to do factoring. It's very important because Trey was asking at the beginning of class, what are we ever going to want to go back to that for? You're going to find out, unfortunately. Not yet, but you will find out. All right, so x squared, we'll leave it a mystery for now, plus 7x plus 12. So, I'll walk you through this one again, and then you will do the next one, you walk me through it. We start with our last term here. Okay, so we do want things in order. That's why we've been practicing putting things in order. I'm going to think of the factors of 12. You don't have to write them down, but to start it's helpful. 1 and 12, right? 2 and what?
6.
And 3 and 4. Now, which of these could I possibly get a 7 when I add them? 3 and 4. So that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to think 3 and 4 is my most likely answer. So I write my two groups here. And what do you think I'm going to put at the front of my groups?
An X.
X on both of them. Okay? And I'm going to put my 3 and 4 down. Now the question is this going to be pluses or minuses? Pluses. Okay, now I'm going to check. I think this is right, but I'm going to check. What's x times x? Got it. Good. What's 3 times 4?
3 times 4.
12. Right? Okay, so good. Now here's my outer check. 3x. See how I got that? 4x. When I combine those, I get 7x. Did that work?
Yes.
Yes. That is the answer. If I multiply that, I get that back. Okay? Let's try a more difficult one. Okay, we're going to factor that. Okay? You walk me through it. Where do I start? The last term. And what are my factors in my last term?
1 times 6.
And
2 times 3.
2 times 3. Now, there's a bunch of minuses here, aren't there? That tells me there's some subtraction going on. So when there's a minus right here, instead of adding my terms to get the middle one, I'm going to subtract them to get the middle one. So which of these could I subtract to get 1x, or negative x?
2 and 2.
Yeah, so we're thinking this one. Okay, so I'm going to start filling in x and x, right? X times x gives me x squared. I'm going to put in my 2 and 3. It doesn't matter which one I put them in. Not yet, it will later, but for now it doesn't matter. Now this is a minus here. That tells me that I have opposite signs on the inside. So the question is, well, which one of these is negative? So I'm going to do my check to help me out. X times x is x squared, so that's good. And 2 times 3, well, that's going to give me the 6, but I need to make sure it's negative, so one of these is negative. I'm going to start my check right here. I get 2x, okay? I get 3x. I need to get a minus x. So which one of these needs to be negative to give me a negative x right there? The 3, right? And the 2 is going to be positive. So, positive, negative. Do you understand how I got that?
Yes. I did.
Okay, and that's our answer. Check your factoring. The biggest mistake is not checking, because sometimes your initial guess, though is good, is not right, and you need to test it. Test the waters there. Okay, let's do that one. Walk me through it.
You start with the last one.
Okay, and what are those factors?
1 times 10. 2 times 10.
4 times 5.
And, boy, how are we going to get a 7 out of that? Because I'm dumb. Hold on. I did not mean a 20 there. I meant a 10.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so 1 and 10, 2 and 5. There we go.
Where's that?
There we go. That's better. Okay, which of those could I possibly get a 7?
13.
Yeah, 2 and 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, because the 10 is positive, that means either both of them are negative or both of them are positive. Well, since this is a positive 7, I'm going to guess that they're positive. You with me? All right, we'll do 2 more, and then you're going to try them on your own.
Nice. Oh.
Okay. Parentheses. What are my factors of 6? I'm going to throw my x's here, because that's pretty much what it is.
1, 6, and 10.
Now,
1 and 6.
Trey's right,
Right.
but most students will guess 2 and 3 again. Let's test the 2 and 3. We're going to test it. I don't want you to write this down because I am purposely guessing wrong. Okay? Because last time it was 2 and 3, wasn't it? Okay? The difference here is, as Trey is hinting to us, is this negative 6. That's going to change it. Because that's negative, that tells me that these signs are going to be opposite. So I have opposite signs. So that means one of these is plus and one of them is negative. Well, that gives me 2x and minus 3x. Do you see that? Boom. Boom. Do you see that? And when I combine them, I get negative x. So that doesn't work. I need a negative 5. So then I might think, well, maybe this one's negative and this one's positive.
No.
Okay? But then that gives me negative 2x and 3x. Well, that's x. That's still not the 5, right? So that tells me the 2 and 3 do not work. You have to test your answers. Alright, so we know it's not 2 and 3. We exhausted those possibilities. So hopefully it's 1 and 6. Now, because this 6 is negative, that tells me one of these is negative. Which one do you think it is?
6.
The 6.
I think it's a 6.
And here's why. When I test, I get x. When I test here, I get negative 6. And when I combine those, I get negative 5. Boom. So this is my answer. Okay, go ahead and write that one down. Did I tell you we were going to do one more? Yes, we're going to do one more. One more. And then you are practicing.
What do you call that last number? Like, what's it actually called?
A 6.
Wait, what? So hopefully you're getting the process here. Basically, I'm thinking of factors
You're thinking factors.
whose sum or difference is the middle term. Now, if the middle isn't there, it's a 0, which is a possibility. But we'll do that later. So let's say we have x squared minus 3x minus 18. Actually, let's make this a plus 3x. Let's do that. I don't think we've done that yet. All right, start me off. What do we do? Someone besides Trey, because I know he's done this before. Someone else. What do we do?
the common factor thing what I use.
Okay, so off to the side, and what do I write, Taylor?
1, 18, 2, 9, 3, and 6.
Yep. I want to make sure I get them all. And again, you don't have to write those down, but it's helpful. All right, so now I'm going to do this. What do I put in front of each of them?
X.
Okay, and then... Oh, Trey, you're giving it away. All right, can I combine 1 and 18 to get a 3 somehow? No. It's probably not that one. Can I combine 2 and 9? Well, I get awfully close, but no. All right, so 3 and 6. Now, what does this sign right here, what's that telling me?
Means you have opposite sign.
Opposite sign. So which of these is going to be negative?
6.
All right, now you're testing the 6. Let's test it. Okay? When I multiply the inner terms, I get 3x. When I multiply the outer terms, I get negative 6x. When I combine them, I get negative 3x. Is that what I have right here? No.
Yes.
So, the 3 is negative, and the 6 is positive. And how could I get there right away? Well, if they're opposite in sign and the middle term's positive, the bigger one's positive. Any questions on how to do that? All right. That's it for your notes. Put that away.